Look, I want to end the show on a little bit of a wrap. And Caroline, maybe we'll start with you. I'm keen to know what you think was the most consequential media story of the year.
I think it was around the passing of the Queen and the crowning of the new King. I thought, for the most part, the media was exceptional. They did such a good job. And particularly when someone who is so big passes away, you know, all the context, all the backstory, all the history, there is so much to put together. And I thought for 95% of the time, it was really classy. Of course, like James just mentioned, there's always someone trying to take some take that's different to everyone else. And fine, you go ahead and do that. But I thought for the most part, it was just so well presented and really a credit to the media.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. And James, I mean, you would agree to mobilise that many journalists almost on a global scale. It's quite a task that I think a lot of people don't realise behind the scenes how much effort goes into it. But no, I'm really keen to get your take. What do you think was the most important media story?
Just quickly on the Queen's death, I'm not sure that was the story of the year. I think that's probably the biggest story we've seen in many, many years. I'm not sure this was the biggest one, but it certainly was of great interest to me, the Andrew Thorburn story. Sure. He was the CEO of the Essendon Football Club for about 5 minutes before the media outed him for the crime of belonging to an Anglican church. And this was a media-driven story, yes, where they deliberately ignored things like the fact the Anglican church is very mainstream. It wasn't some weird religious organisation. They ignored the fact that as the boss of the NAB Bank, he was a champion of LGBTQ diversity. But all of that was not just forgotten, deliberately ignored by the media as they deliberately targeted someone for their Christian faith. And I think that's not just an interesting story, but it's got implications going forward if that's the kind of culture and the kind of media.
That's how journalists now feel comfortable. What kind of precedent are we setting with religious freedoms? No, I agree. They're both really good topics.